Hello. We're going to do a vase pour over this blue vase. It's one I already have. This is a 12 by 12 canvas. I'm hoping to do two vase pours. I'll probably do them in two different videos and maybe layer them at the same time. But we're going to use quite a few different colors. Brilliant Blue by Artist Loft. Light Green by Artist Loft. Prussian Blue by Amsterdam. Brilliant Blue by Liquitex Basics. Blue Green, or Greenish Blue rather, by Amsterdam. It looks blue on camera, but it's a beautiful color. Ultramarine by Winsor Newton. My favorite ultramarine is by Grumbacher, but I accidentally bought that one thinking it was my favorite. Ooh. Lime Green by Liquitex Basics. Let me fix my little vase here. I'm standing on a stool so I can see what y'all see, so I'm gonna be a little more clumsy. Phthalo Blue by Amsterdam. And Metallic Cobalt Blue by Artist Loft. Those are the colors we will also use for the second pour, so I may or may not do them in the same video. On this one, because this is a bigger vase, we're also going to use some primary elements by Colourarte. This is Snapdragon, one of my favorite colors. This is Mystic Blue, which sort of looks like an iridescent teal or turquoise. This is Kiwi, yeah, Kiwi. And this is Bayou Blue. So as we layer paints, I'm going to incorporate those in some of the pours. And I'm going to do it sort of like just like a regular kind of dirty pour. So we're just going to layer. I deliberately chose blues and greens and kind of light, bright colors to go in between darker colors. I knew that would be fun for this pour. Let's see. I kind of want to incorporate some of these in the layering process. I just don't want the paint to completely swallow the primary elements because they're so precious. I don't want them to get lost in the shuffle. My contention with ultramarine blues is that they look like they're going to be this beautiful rich color and then they're sort of muted. However, the Grumbacher one is the best. It is the best. And then, before I go back to the beginning, I'm probably way out of frame, sorry. Throw in some of that Snapdragon. Yeah, buddy. Now instead of going back to the lime green, I'm going to throw in the kiwi here. It should be really beautiful. Now all of these primary elements colors are iridescent, so that's also super cool. And then next to this guy, I'm going to do some of this Bayou Blue. Sorry about my reaching right in front of you here. That's a beautiful color. You see that Snapdragon? Oh man, it's just so pretty. So, the bad thing is I didn't use a lot of those in the beginning, so they're going to be a little bit more muted now. Because they're going to be on the bottom. However, let's see, ultramarine, a little bit, not a lot of bits. Then I think I'm going to incorporate this guy a little bit there. And of course Phthalo. And I think, oh Crap, I just got that in my other paint. It's all right. If I need to do any touching up, I think I will definitely touch up with some of these guys at the top. The cool thing is, a lot of these that may not show a lot on the vase pour will show a lot on the canvas. So I think we'll add a little lime there. Let's see, I don't want to use too much more of this one because it's gonna need to be used on the other vase pour, but I also don't want to put that light color too close to the other one. Prussian blue, and I'm gonna just finish with some of this bluish green. And this Snapdragon is just literally one of the most beautiful colors you could ever imagine. And I got some on my canvas. Some of these colors I think will dry darker than it looks. I'm used to phthalo being a little bit darker. So now we're just very carefully gonna pour. It starts off kind of crazy, but then it'll even out. And no matter how centered you are, your canvas, or your vase rather, is always going to have a tendency to tilt one side or the other, so sometimes you have to overcompensate for that while you're pouring. Now some of these are getting a little muddier than I prefer. I'm going to let that stop for a second, and I'm going to get down and see how we're faring on the bottom here. Now your canvas will, your paint will continue to run down your canvas, or down your base rather, sorry. Sometimes you have to help one particular side by like kind of connecting the paint a little bit so it'll run. And it's not gonna stay like that, so you don't have to worry too much about it looking like you messed with it, because it's not gonna stay that way. You're basically just helping it keep running. Now I can't tell perfectly because of the lighting and the way the tripod casts a shadow, but it is gorgeous so far. There's a little clump right here. So I usually let it run for a couple of minutes, and while it's doing that, there is some sort of clump in this paint, and I can't tell if it's a bubble, and you know I don't have my torch out like I should. What a goober. Now I'm going to go ahead and torch some of these bubbles just because I want to make sure I can identify what's paint gunk and what's air bubbles, because I just mixed this paint a little while ago, so it's possible that there's a lot of air bubbles in it. So I think this is going to be beautiful. I know that you can't exactly see the detail, and probably going to have to show you the detail after it's resined and it dries. Maybe we'll do the resin all in one video, or we'll do it as a separate video. I'm not sure. So once it has pretty much settled down on the dripping, you can see what I've been doing is taking my finger and kind of taking some of the drips and putting them on the corners. Because of course, we're not going to waste that paint down there. We're going to tilt it into something pretty. I love these colors together. Some of the colors didn't quite separate as much as I thought they might. They might have been thinner, but I kind of like it. And so I think once it dries, you'll see the definition and the differences. But for now, super cool. So what you want to do in this instance is you want to grab this very carefully like this. Now don't freak out too much, because ultimately it's going to keep running a little bit. The only thing is this one is kind of big, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't just knock it clean off after I just did all that. And unfortunately I'm dripping a little bit into our tilting paint. Oh crap, y'all would not believe what I just did. I just tilted it and grabbed it. Oh man, that is terrible. So I'm gonna move you to where I am, because this is real life. These things happen. So I just moved it off the camera, and you can't see it, but I just accidentally tilted it and grabbed it around the edge. So one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try to fix it. It is gonna keep running down, but there are some places where I straight up grabbed it. I never meant to do that, obviously, but that was my concern about this vase, is it's a kind of a different shape and it's very top heavy. So I'm just gonna do my best to fix it and trust that it's gonna keep running and kind of fix itself. You can't actually see very well what I did, but I mean, I basically gripped it around the neck of the vase pretty substantially. So I'm just gonna try to blend it a little and hope for the best. Sorry if you can see me, I'm not really supposed to be in the camera, but I'm trying to make sure we save it. I think it's gonna be okay. Oh, I did it again. Sheesh. Now, where I just turned you around is kind of where I need to put the tripod back, so I'm hoping that it is fixed. Grr. And I'm sure it kind of just looks teal from where you are, but it is like this beautiful blue, iridescent, teal, light green. It's really very pretty. So I'm trying to make sure it's as level as it can be. Otherwise, paint's gonna come off one side more than the other. Also trying to make sure that I got my fiasco. Here's hoping, right? What a mess. So normally, excuse me, normally we would tilt only what's left on this painting, and that may be enough, but it also may not be enough. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, while we get our other painting going, I'm going to dump, ooh, I almost dropped you guys onto the painting. We have some really beautiful colors here, but I think what I'm also gonna do is put some of these primary elements sort of on the outskirts. So as we tilt, we hopefully get them in the mix, maybe in the middle. Because man, are they beautiful. And then same with this Bayou Blue. Normally what I love about vase pours is the middle turns into like this really cool knot. But considering I don't want to waste these, not even a little bit, I'm gonna incorporate them in some places. And I'm trying to make sure they're not so far off the edge of the canvas that will tilt them and lose them. But I also don't want to completely corrupt our vase pour design either. So, and I usually, oh, I have more in the cup too, so. A lot more in the cup actually. So I've already kind of got a little bit to start our next vase pour. And I'm getting really uncomfortably close to my vase over there that's drying. Man, I can't believe I did that. Oh yes, I can. That's the unfortunate thing, is I totally can believe that. I can totally believe that. It's just still very sucky that that happened. This is the fun thing about fluid art, is you can be a little unpredictable and it's okay. These colors are beautiful. Now we're going to fill in a little bit. And if you hear noise, it's my husband in the garage. I think these are also pretty shimmery out here, so I'm just gonna kind of make a connection with what we've got going on in the middle. Try not to waste paint, but by the same token, I don't want to overstretch it either, so. I guess I had the vase in kind of a weird place. All right, so I kind of think I might have overdone that in the middle there. This is going to be kind of strange looking, so we're going to tilt really slowly. I also have a bunch of paint right next to it, so I need to be careful to not tilt all the excess in those paints. I can see that the stuff I added in the middle is kind of awkward. So I don't want to lose that Snapdragon. So I think what we're going to do is do that and do this. And then the rest of that I'm just going to put on top of this other vase pour for now. Let it just start to sink down on that vase. I know that I kind of created a weird little looking thing in the middle, and I forgot to torch it. Today is not my day for the painting world. I just mixed this paint a while ago, so the bubbles are there, I promise. That's alright, and there's gunk of some sort right there on this side. Before I completely finish stretching this, I think I'm going to add a little bit of this to the corner. It'll come off. Man, that color is beautiful. So primary elements are mixed with a paint binder mixture, usually vivid enamels or polypore. These were mixed with polypore. The rest of the paint mixture is mixed with a 60-40 glue and water. Yeah, what I did on that corner there is not working out. Okay, before I mess with this too much more, I'm going to get my sides because I'm overstretching for silly spaces that could be easily filled in. So I actually really like this. There are some places that I probably would have done differently. Like I kind of want to get that center a little bit. I don't want it in the center, but I do want it a little bit further down, a little bit further this way. So this top part, however, is a little bit muddier. It's okay, like it doesn't bother me, but. And I'm gonna have to undo that purple foolishness. I don't know why I put that there. I think in my mind it was gonna look natural, but it doesn't. So I'm going to have to somehow deal with it. Maybe I'll just mute it with my finger. If I can tilt it off, that's going to be the best case. The problem is, like, I'm afraid to overstretch it at this point. But the depth of the painting is definitely down here. So if I can get more of that and less of this, I can live with that. I'm about to drop paint on the floor. But I got that off. We are probably way out of frame, I'm sorry. Okay. I am fairly pleased with this. There are some things I would have liked to do different, like the center that I added. I like it. I like it now. At first, I really didn't like it that much. But now I like it. And I like that we got it to move. I also like that it doesn't look like we did it right in the center anymore. So it's not perfectly in the middle. I didn't really like that. So I'm going to bring you down for a close-up, and hopefully, and I really love it. Like, I can tell when it dries, it's going to dry really beautiful. I need to stop messing with it or it's not going to dry very beautiful. But the shimmer and the primary elements mixed in with the other paints really works. And I honestly like it upright like this. It sort of looks like a messy ring pour at the same time. So I really want to fix this corner where I just messed with it. I'm kind of afraid I'm going to make it worse. Yep, I am. All right, bear with me for a second. I need to not mess with corners and screw them up like that, because then you end up like tilting really good stuff off a painting to fix a stupid corner. And I keep trying to find a piece of color that's more similar so I can fix it without making it worse. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay. Man, it's really hard to see how beautiful it is. Okay, let me take my gloves off and then oops, I already got paint on the floor. I do it every single time. Okay, so here's the bottom left-hand corner, the top left-hand corner. Sorry about the glare. Bottom right-hand corner, probably a favorite part of mine. And then the top right-hand corner. And then of course, here's the little detail we had in the middle. It's really beautiful. Let me see if I can let you see the vase. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. But this is sort of the detail of the vase. Hopefully we have a... I still can't tell how pretty it is. Sorry if you hear my dog scratching. I'm hoping that I was able to undo the damage I did, but the top is gorgeous. So, my dogs are trying to make a debut. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. About to do the second